The topic of the discussion is a cyber defense solution. Is it affordable for local companies? What other steps can be taken to defend against cyber threats, and the importance of an education program? Thanks.
Thanks. Hi, it's me again. So number one, welcome to, you're probably sick of hearing my voice today already. And we've had a long, hard day of wonderful learning and great content and, Grace and company. A big round of applause to you first, to putting on a wonderful event and wonderful, not just a wonderful event and wonderful food, but most important, wonderful learning and content. So we'll make this fast and painless. We've had a long, hard day. But, and I'm going to shorten the whole title, okay? By the time you read the title, the conversation, we're already tired. So, two areas. Number one, cybersecurity. At the end of the day, we need solutions. We need protection. Solutions does not mean just products or technology. Solutions could mean like consulting, processes, training, a policy, all that kind of thing. So number one, is it affordable? Now, when I say affordable, let me qualify. It does not mean about money. Do you have money? I told you this morning. SMB doesn't mean no money. They one night go karaoke, open one Mattel, $4,000. Or just now Ken So says, $3,000 to pay, but the guy can drive Lamborghini. So it has nothing to do with affordability. Okay, let me say something very bad. It's about attitude. It's not about budget. Okay, before I carry on, very quickly, it's a long hard day. I tell you one of my favorite jokes. Singapore is it's the most expensive place in the world to buy a car. Especially for those frauders, just like $200,000 for one Mercedes-Benz entry level, people will buy. 60-cent parking coupon, want to cheat. Now got the app, 60-cent parking, want to cheat. It's not that you don't have 60 cents, no. It's that the attitude. Or even an antivirus. Okay, antivirus update, renewed, and last time antivirus was $100 a year, becomes $70, becomes $50, $60, now $30 a year. To renew the antivirus, to pay Symantec or McAfee or Trend $30, I don't want to pay. It's not about money, I buy you lunch, $30, we're both very happy. But I just don't want to pay the $30 for software. So, is it affordable? Has to do with attitude, not so much budget. It's not about budget, it's about budgeting. It's about what is important to them. Okay, and with that in mind, let me come on to Willis of M1 and Ajay. So again, the same thing, I ask a question, both of you answer them. So we'll start with, what in your work do you see among your clients, this attitude towards budget and affordability of security solutions based on what they see in their work and in the world today? I'll start with Willis. Okay. No, you just spoke, so you're a breather, you start.
The reason why I wanted to start is because, when I heard Charles and Ajay speak, I feel like Superman, I feel like Spider-Man next to Superman and Batman without the webs. But I heard I'm going to do the lucky draw later, so maybe not so bad.
So pay attention.
So I think this topic of affordability, I must first profess I'm not a security professional.
Which is even better, because from the layman point of view, how do you see security? Okay,
like Anthony, he always say the nicest things. Actually, I'm a simple and honest salesman, that's all, okay? So in my line of business, it's very important that security, like any other products that you buy from a telco, today you buy mobile phones, fixed line connectivity from a telco. It's topmost on our mind is to make sure that it's affordable. Why? So that more people can adopt it and more people can use it. This has always been our fundamental principle as a telco. All right? We are not like Rolex, where we only sell to a certain group of people. Now, security, in my opinion, has, in a way, been a very special area and arena, and that makes me very uncomfortable. Today, the top spender of security spend hundreds of millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars. Maybe James, my friend over there, will spend tens of millions of dollars, for Farrer Park Hospital. He put in the firewall, he put in the IPS, everything. On the other extreme, you have people who, as you mentioned, go to karaoke but doesn't spend. So, and I think that's the majority of Singapore companies that we speak to as we embark on this journey to help customers adopt security from N1 at least. And one of the challenges is not so much affordability, but awareness. So education is very important. People may not even know what's security. They know what's a handphone, what is iPhone, what is Samsung. When I go and see a customer and talk about Samsung and talk about the security, they start asking me about iPhone, Samsung. It's very common.
Education is the second question. So,
So affordability, what can a telco do? We normally do what we are best at doing. We package expensive thing into a monthly fees to make it affordable. So today, if you want to buy a firewall or any security products, you go outside later. There's many vendors. These are our M1 partners that we have there. And we have many of them working with us to put it into a package. In the past, when you go to them, you'll buy a box, a solution that could be very costly that you may or may not like, after half a year, 1 year, you got to discard it. For us, we work with them to turn it into a service, just like your handphone. Only good things that it's not 24 months contract, can be 6 months contract, 1 month contract. So it's become very affordable for a lot of companies to adopt technology now. You want to try the firewall one for 6 months, please go and work with Palo Alto. You like another one, maybe Cisco next day, you can try Cisco the next day. Then you like Nokia, got new firewall come out, you want to try it, you can also do it. So what we do is we actually package all this into a simple to understand solution, then we bring it to market to make it affordable. But saying that, I think I cannot, I want to just put one, two caveat into this particular aspect of selling a security solution and making it affordable. In M1, right, we always tell our guys, do not sell something to security at least, to our customers without seeing them first. 2 reasons. One is because if that happens, right, it means the customer like you don't know what you're buying. 2, the salesman also don't know what he's selling you. You're just buying something. Okay? So I think it's very important that you must see our salesperson to understand the product. Don't just talk about affordability. That's the last thing on our mind when we sell security solutions, whether it suits your needs or not. For M1, just like any before you buy an insurance policy, we do a free VA and PA for you first. Before, by the way, that means the penetration test, vulnerability test on your existing system and network before we even sell you a first piece of security product. For the same reason that the insurance company do a test on you before you sell you an insurance policy. So we want to make sure you are secured, we know how to solve the problem. Then we talk about affordability. Okay, I think that's my answer, and I'll come back later.
So it has to do with value. But speaking of M1, but Spotify, Netflix, this kind of subscription we will pay, correct? So coming to you, Ajay, in your work, customers, what do they see about affordability? What's this whole attitude towards cybersecurity solutions?
Okay. See, look, I think we have to, when we go and buy anything in the market, right? For example, iPhone X is coming, 10 is coming, right? $1,500. And you have seen the benefits that people have seen through all the last 10 years generations of iPhones. The benefit it provides, and probably for a section of people, is what they say the propensity to buy, or the price sensitivity is not there. Now, all of these things, I mean, this is the example of productivity. Now also let's contrast it with our own physical health insurance, right? I'm sure almost everybody in the room would have been subscribing to all the kind of health insurances all of our lives. Why? Because we have seen people suffering who didn't buy or had inadequate insurance coverage. Unfortunately, as I was saying in my conversation earlier as well, cybersecurity is where either the things are a little bit under the carpet, right? People don't want to talk about it, especially let's say enterprises don't want to talk about it for X number of reasons. And we all know about our market competitiveness, et cetera, and the kind of name that we get. Or even at an individual level, we don't know the value that the kind of data that we are generating has for us. A simple example would be, and we can just all think for ourselves, the kind of digital photos that we would have been capturing for last decade and a half. It would be there earlier in the floppy drives, then hard disks, and I'm sure almost 80% of people would be subscribing to OneDrive or Google, iCloud, etc. Why? We are willing to pay for it, right? Because we treasure those things. Now, as we just discussed, right? I mean, that perception is not very clear as to what is that the value that data holds for us as individuals or as small and medium enterprises or large enterprises as well. And I think from there, the concept of really, for protecting that value, how much am I willing to pay? So I think these are the two things which go, and I think as this budding topic, I think as people build to have more appreciation, there will be more examples by which people will know what a data breach or really caused them in their own individual lives or as an enterprise. And I think that would define the price point which people will be willing to pay. But I would say these are the early days, and I think as we go along, I think the threat perception and then the price equilibrium shall happen.
Thank you. Okay, so both speakers basically alluded to the fact that affordability has to do with value, and value has to do with perception, perceived benefit. Okay, all right, people line up overnight for the iPhone X, so the next day, even though they write on Facebook and curse it, they will still do it, but nobody lines up overnight to buy a firewall. And and to get the idea of value, what you pay for, why do I pay for what, it comes on to education, okay? And we all know the importance of education, so I'm not going to ask you how or why about education. And again, it's late afternoon, let's have some fun before we end. And then there's some truth in this. Okay, we talk about, everyone agrees, cybersecurity awareness is important. Cybersecurity education is important. But how many organizations actually have proper interests and processes and resources to do that? I work for big companies. You work for listed company, American company. Every 6 months, you have to attend course about ethics. No bribing, no insider trading, no business ethics, what do you call that? You're not allowed to be racist. You're not allowed to have sexual harassment, all that kind of thing. But is there any compulsory training from the HR for cybersecurity? Do they give you awards for being cyber safe? Some companies talk about, they do the internal phishing to test who go and click. Most of the time, it's the top layer, top management are the ones who end up clicking. But how many companies actually do that? So the question is, we are aware cybersecurity training and awareness is important. Why do you think I have this impression that it's not more often than it should be, unlike, why do we have to attend courses for business ethics, insider trading, all that kind of thing? Okay, but we'll start with Willis again.
This question is quite cheap.
Okay, maybe M1 has a lot of cybersecurity training, so you're okay.
I can only share with you this. In M1, what he just said is correct. You know in M1, our screensaver is a cybersecurity screensaver. Please do not press this, please do not press that. That's the level of security in a big company.
Wonderful. We need more of this. That's the whole issue here.
I can send you my screensaver. You can replace yours. So the other thing is that what I felt is for education is this. Today we have hundreds of vendors selling security in the market. And I think a lot of this attention is focused very much on the large MNCs, the big companies like M1s, all right? And I think that not enough is done to educate 90% or 80% of the other companies that have sizable, if not bigger operations, just that they don't place security as on top of their mind, unlike a bank, unlike an insurance company who have been hacked, all right? I'm sure the guy who got hacked for his signage in Tiong Bahru Plaza may still not feel that it's important. After all, being hacked, then just change the hard disk as all, for ransomware. He didn't pay the ransom, I guess. So I think the attitude has to change. Education comes with attitude. It comes with also, in the way, the morning session, cultural implications, all right? But what's important is that as a community, as part of this telco community, IT community, we need to constantly educate and provide education in all possible means. I give you an example. Today, this session that we sponsored for M1, I was very happy to sponsor it because I specifically told the organizer, make sure that people who comes from industries that's not from the governments, not from the very big companies, so that we can share with them the things that are happening in these big companies. And you learn more things out of this, you see. Well, the government probably has 2,000 sessions at M1 every day. We have training, internet courses, press here, press there to be secured, learn all the things. But I think for education, it's important to reach out to masses, not just to the CEOs, not just to the CIOs, but even the end users who can actually appreciate that what the IT guys, folks are doing is good for them. And I think this morning CSA has spoken, my colleague Alex has spoken. We want to be part of this community to bring this education on a broad-based level to everybody, so that security could be as easy as understand as an iPhone or Samsung Notes. Right, that's my view.
Yeah, that's a wonderful point. Make security as easy to understand and intuitive as as a mobile phone. So coming to you, Ajay, in your work, how do you think, or why do you think cybersecurity training and awareness is not as pervasive as we believe it should be?
My simple view on this one is that organizations are human, and human works in their boundaries, in their own racial boundaries. What do I mean by that, right? Is this whole concept of this people process tool, the PPT concept, right? Almost 5 years ago, I was selling our identity access management system to one of the biggest operators in India. And before that, actually, we did a consulting exercise with them for, just their process capabilities. And how we got that assignment was because one of the disgruntled employees who left the company still had access, admin. And if you all know, there is a network entity called as BSC, right? Which in a way kind of can handle almost 100 to 200 nodes. In non-technical terms, it means that if you have access to that admin password, you can bring down almost, let's say, 1/3 of kind of Singapore, kind of a mobile network, right? So it happened there. The disgruntled employee left and he brought down the whole BSC. Okay, that was the reason by which we got that assignment for testing how their processes were, how the process and the people were, right? So we gave them this, we delivered that assignment, it went pretty well, they bolstered some of their processes, etc., etc. After that, the regulation came from the Indian government and to have the T part, right, the tools part. And when we started discussing with them our identity access management solution, what really confounded us quite heavily was none of the people who were involved in the first PP, the people in the process part, was anywhere in the picture. So you see what I'm saying, right? So yes, you can say that, okay, it was a very big organization, right? It is possible, but ultimately what happened was that the left arm was not talking to the right arm. That is my simple observation standing today. And this kind of an information arbitrage, this kind of an information asymmetry, in my opinion, will keep continuing. And I think we need to find, as I think the top management of the organization will need to, I think, have a conscious eye in terms of, whether it is through the governance processes or whatever. I think this is something which has to be addressed, that the PPT all work as kind of a trioca, right? So that's my impression as of today.
Thank you, Ajay. The crackling means the battery is going. So we'll take one question about budgeting, affordability, and value, if any. Any questions, any pressing comment or question about cybersecurity solutions, budgeting? No? What about education, education awareness? Any question, any pressing question or comment? No? What about the iPhone, the phone watch? Yes, sir. You want to yell or you want a mic? All right.
Okay, we know the big boys, they have no problem with education and all that. But for the smaller guys, and not just for the SMEs, but I think if you want to talk about education, at some point you need to bring it down to the man in the street. Because if you drive the man in the street to demand a service, and you make it affordable enough, you have a business model, and everyone will want it.
Thank you, thank you. That is a wonderful comment. You got to bring down the man in the street and make it one day and the demand will go back up. Any quick comment on this? Or any thoughts? 2 lines. 2 words. Thank you. No. All right. Okay, we're okay with that. Thank you. Anyone else has a comment before we close?
There's no comments. Maybe I just have one small request. There's only one solution. Just go and look for M1.
If before we close, okay, there's no comment. Let me tell you one joke again. Whether it's affordability, value, or education, awareness, and like a man in the street. Okay, and I don't want to be unkind. I'm Singaporean myself, and let me close with a joke. Okay, just like I shared the joke about the car. I got another joke about car. Cybersecurity is like car. I've been cybersecurity 20 years. If your car has an accident or an engine damage, have to repair, $2,000. Wow, walao eh, wow, no, you're so unhappy, But you must repair the car because if it's damaged or engine problem, it's a safety and operational, must repair one. $2,000, cannot, don't pay. But you're so unhappy with paying. But the same guy, the same car, the same $2,000, put sport rim, very happy. Wow, look at my car, man, so cool, look at the sport rim. Nobody asked you to put a sport rim, but this kind of money you're very happy to pay. So it has to do with culture. Okay, like these few days, the government are talking about what? Why Singaporean after eating don't like to clear their own tray? Then someone said in Japan they do that, in Korea. That's not the point. It's culture. It has nothing to do with the tray. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, my closing remarks before I hand back to Grace is, in cybersecurity, awareness, affordability, value, education, don't be like the 60-cent parking coupon, and don't be like the $2,000 sport rim. Thank you very much. Willis, thank you. Ajay, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. That was very good. So now we have the lucky draw, but thank you very much for staying until the end. Appreciate your attendance. Just a quick roundup. So it's not if and when, but how you'll be attacked. And I guess the important thing is that you must be prepared to handle the breach. You have to defend yourself. You have to know what you are capable and who you are and what kind of resources you have. The important thing is you must have an offline backup. So you may be breached, but at least you have an online backup. But thank you for coming here to hear us today and to participate in the Cybersecurity Forum 2017. I would like to take an opportunity to thank M1, our event partner, for supporting us and believing in us. Thank you, Willis and team. We are very grateful. And also to Doug Trace, our gold sponsor, and to our many business partners, ASME, SCS, and many others. And of course, our thanks to IDMA and CSA for their official support as well. And lastly, thank you to all of you. Thank you for participating and for your attention. Thank you. Can I invite Willis to do the lucky draw? Okay, it is Seat Lu Tang. Is he here? Seat Lu Tang from Red Century. If he's not here, going once, going twice, gone. Okay. Okay. Patrick Peng. Patrick Peng, here we go. He is from RCL Feeder. Congratulations, Patrick. Thank you very much, Willis. Appreciate your. Yeah. Thank you. And the day is ended. Thank you. Good Friday to end a good weekend. And drinks, it's outside.